Level 1. The new boot. The radio crypts in your ear for the first time, and you don't know what half the codes mean. You nod anyway. You're standing at a post nobody wants, a parking garage on the overnight shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., $14.50 an hour, a flashlight, and a uniform that doesn't quite fit. You are not law enforcement. You know this. The badge on your chest says security in flat silver letters, and you feel every syllable of it. You check doors. You walk the perimeter. You write incident reports about nothing. A drunk stumbles through the lobby at 2 a.m. and you redirect him to the street with your hands in your pockets, voice calm, heart moving faster than you'd admit. You tell yourself this is temporary. Everyone at Level 1 tells themselves that. Level 2, the reliable one. 6 months in, your supervisor stops double-checking your reports. That's the signal. Not a promotion, not a raise, just the quiet removal of doubt. You're assigned to the front desk of a corporate building now. Business hours, visible post. You sign in executives, manage visitor logs, monitor 4 camera feeds simultaneously. You learn to read people in 30 seconds. Who belongs, who is lost, who is lying about why they're here. You make $17 an hour. You take the job seriously in a way that surprises people who don't think security is serious work. You start noticing things others miss. The maintenance worker who never checks in. The executive who always exits through the stairwell. The pattern in the patterns. You don't say anything yet. You're still learning the rules of what gets reported and what gets ignored. That distinction matters more than anyone tells you on day 1. Level 3. The specialist. They send you to training, not because you asked, because they need someone certified and you've been reliable enough to invest in. You come back with a certification in access control systems, a working knowledge of CCTV architecture, and a new understanding of how much security is about information, not presence. You're placed at a hospital campus now. High traffic, high stakes. You manage a team of 3. You're not a supervisor on paper yet, but functionally you are, and everyone knows it. You handle your first real incident at 4:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. A patient, unmedicated, moving toward an exit with something in his hand. You don't reach for anything. You use your voice, your positioning, the training. It works. Afterward, your hands are steady. That's when you understand something important about yourself. You don't panic when it's real. That's not nothing. That's actually rare. Level 4. The Shift Supervisor. The title comes with a $6,000 annual raise and the immediate understanding that you now own every problem that happens on your shift, whether you caused it or not. You manage 12 officers across 3 posts. You write schedules, conduct briefings, handle complaints from clients, and translate between what actually happened and what gets written in the official report. You learn the gap between those 2 things is where most of the real work lives. An officer on your team cuts a corner, doesn't do a perimeter check, logs it as completed. Nothing happens that night, but you know. You pull him aside, you don't write it up. You make it clear what happens if it occurs again. You're managing people now, not just situations. Your loyalty starts splitting. You owe the company compliance. You owe your team cover. You owe the client accuracy. These 3 things are not always the same thing, and navigating that gap quietly is the actual job description nobody hands you. Level 5. The Site Manager. You run the contract now. 1 client, 1 location, full accountability. A financial services firm, 38 floors, 600 employees, a security budget of $2.1 million annually that you did not negotiate but are fully responsible for executing. You sit in quarterly meetings with the client's VP of operations. You wear a different uniform now, no visible badge, business professional, indistinguishable from the executives unless you know what to look for. You know what to look for. You've stopped thinking of security as physical protection. It's risk architecture. You're identifying vulnerabilities before they become incidents. You're advising on policy. You're present in conversations about the building's future that have nothing to do with a guard at a door. But you also know that 1 incident, 1 bad night, 1 officer who freezes, 1 decision that goes sideways and ends up in a lawsuit wipes everything you've built in this role. The margin for error is thinner than it looks from the outside. You sleep fine, but you sleep lightly. Level 6, the regional director. You oversee 14 contracts across 3 states. $41 million in annual revenue runs through your division. You have never met the most officers working under your name. You are no longer a security professional in the operational sense. You are a business operator who happens to be in the security industry. The distinction feels significant at first, then it just feels true. You make decisions that affect people you'll never see. A contract restructuring eliminates 11 positions at a site in Ohio. You review the spreadsheet, approve the change, move to the next item on the agenda. You don't let yourself sit in that. You can't. The clients at this level aren't asking you about camera placement. They're asking about liability exposure, insurance frameworks, regulatory compliance, reputational risk. You speak that language now. It took years to learn it, and you barely remember not knowing it. Power at this level is quiet. Nobody fears you openly, but when you walk into a site unannounced, everything adjusts. That adjustment is a form of fear. You've made your peace with that.
Level 7, the VP of Operations. Your name is on the organizational chart in a box that reports directly to the C-suite. You have an executive assistant. You fly business class on company accounts. You have not physically stood a post in 11 years. The officers on the ground do not think about you. You are not real to them in the way that their shift supervisor is real. You are a title on an email signature. But the decisions you make restructure their world without warning. A new vendor contract changes their equipment. A policy revision changes their authority on use of force. A budget cut changes their staffing levels. You make these decisions in conference rooms with catered lunches. You have not lost your humanity, but you have built considerable distance from it. And that distance serves a function, and you know it, and you've stopped arguing with yourself about it. The people who lost at this level are the ones who understand that guilt is a luxury and accountability is a system. You are very good at building systems.
Level 8, the executive. There is no drama at this level. That's the thing nobody tells you. You are the CSO of a firm with operations in 9 countries. Your decisions shape policy frameworks that other companies model their own standards after. You have testified before a federal subcommittee. Your name appears in industry publications as a thought leader, which is a phrase you use without irony now. You do not carry a radio. You have not worn a uniform in 2 decades. The security around you, and there is security around you, quietly, always, is managed by someone who sits 3 levels below you on the org chart. The work at this level is legacy. What systems will outlast you? What standards you institutionalize? Who you develop into the next layer of leadership? You think about this constantly and discuss it almost never. You remember the parking garage, the flashlight, the uniform that didn't fit. You don't romanticize it, but you also don't dismiss it. That version of you was paying very close attention, and the attention compounded into everything that followed. The isolation is real. The altitude is real. The machine runs whether you're present or not. That's how you know you built something that works. That's also how you know you're no longer the most important variable in it. Somewhere tonight, a 22-year-old is clipping a silver badge to a uniform for the first time. He's standing in a parking garage on the overnight shift. He thinks this is temporary. He thinks he understands what security work is. He doesn't know what it costs yet, but he will.